Right, hi guys, how we doing? Hey Frankie. Oh, yeah, we're live now. How we doing? Just got back from the gym. Well, this morning started off well, and then not gonna lie, not enjoyed this little section here. Had two losses here, um, on what I would say lovely, lovely setups. Clip, I mean, very, very. I mean, I got maybe 6.5 pips. I don't think it tipped 7 pips. This one got close, but I didn't quite see because should have hit TP1 looking at that, unless the only thing I can think of it got slipped a little. Oh, hold on, I'd spread. Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't quite see the full outcome. I had my TP set with the software, and I managed accordingly, which is why I got stopped out as price broke this low here. Um, but it is what it is, guys. It's been a very frustrating morning after a nice start. So taking two losses back to back. So I am just going to focus on one potential trade. Um, I know Anna placed a buy stop BPC on the DAX, which should have worked out very well, which goes in line with that bias. Um, only thing I would be a little bit hesitant on is how deep that moved. Once it came back above this area, which is where I think Anna had a level, was let's have a look. Yeah, perfectly. So that was a beautiful example of a BPC trade take on an index. It looks like it's a huge move down. It was, but the grand scheme of things, the overall trend is still to the upside. Oh, let me just get some music on because it's there we go. But who else we got in today? Hi Simon, Frankie, Nigel. Got a few others in. Can't see who it is, but hi guys, how you doing? So yeah, like I said, it's been a bit of a frustrating morning from our side. Had two winning trades back to back this morning, but they just didn't materialize. And what I mean by that is we had long setup, took one in here, and it looks like obviously the market's just gone straight up and it looks like fantastic. Um, but you see this wick up here and wick down. Well, this was our second trade. It triggered us in. We hit TP1, then it came back, stopped us out, and then moved while I was on the school run. And then it's just been a little bit choptastic here, but you've got to appreciate you don't see these candles, these ones afterwards. So when you see the structure here and you see it close above, then you get a wick down, buying the break of the highs. Looks like an easy run up to sort of 33.87. Sorry, a bit thirsty, guys. Um, so it has been a frustrating morning, but we will come back. We'll find find our opportunities, and we will make the most of it should one present itself. Like I said, I've got for the guys that are in the members group, I've got one trade left for today. Um, so it better be a good one. That's if anything sets up. So I'm going to look. I don't think I want to get caught up in shorts in here. Nah, I know there's 60 pips, but I just don't like it. So what we're going to look for is, again, could be for the third time, buys above uh, 3383.6. We'll see what happens. We've got comics opening in 14 minutes. There's no major news today, from what I remember rightly. No, no major news. We've got Tomorrow, what the Fed, haven't we? Forecast is to keep rates at hold 4.5, but uh, might be a reason to see some of the markets come off a little bit today, to be fair. We've got mm, okay, so it's the Fed tomorrow, so maybe we see a little bit of some corrections today. Even things like the NASDQ, the S&P, the Dow might see some pullbacks on those in anticipation that they don't mention anything about rate cuts. So expect to see a little bit of a swing, but I think if you see a deep sell-off in gold, then that could be a nice opportunity to buy, looking for BPC trades. So you want to mark out the clean sort of zones where you'd want to be a buyer should you see the market come back into and see buyer candles. So yes, you can see that if the market breaks this low, theory should run down, but don't really want to take this trend on right now. I just want to go with it. So even going with it, we've had two winning trades, two losing trades. The only downside is the two losing trades were bigger than the winning trades. The winning trades just hit T1 and then just reversed. Never got that full momentum behind them, which you can see. It looked like it was going, but it's not been one of these big moves or these. It was like it moved, it came, it dropped back, it moved again, dropped back. So sells. You could look for sells if we get a close below 3357. So no major news. Uh, in terms of here, we've got 57, so it's 20, 28, 280 pip range. We really need to start looking at where trades have gone wrong. So in theory, right, if you look at it, today I've had two losing trades, both with the trend, both breakout trades, um, which for me is probably one of my high success rate trades. Um, you'd like to think that your high success rate trade would be with the direction of the trend, right? So to have two that have been with trend and to have been stopped, it's, it's a little bit frustrating. So a bit parched today, guys. Just legged it back from the gym and just gasping for breath a little bit. I think it's my daughter this weekend tired me out. Long weekend with my little one. Now, you're probably gonna laugh, but if we get another close above here, guys, I'd rather go for again a momentum move above the highs, as opposed to looking for a corrective trade. I'd be more fond of buys on a breakout above here or BPC somewhere down here, so waiting for price to form support. Support just means looking for some nice couple of seller candles followed by a buy candle, then move for a wick down by the break of the high. So we'll sit tight for now on gold, but we can see we've got plenty of room to go for. DAX I'm going to steer clear from right now. We need it to, let me just jump up. I think if I was looking for anything on okay, so I have to be on the hourly. I don't like this little section here on the 30. So on the hourly. If we got this followed by a seller candle on the hourly, we could perhaps sell the low of the seller candle. But again, we are kind of in a little bit of no man's land. Anyone sound cutting out, or just anyone having sound issues, guys? Sound issues, anyone? Or Simon keeps putting me on mute more likely. Um, all right, close the comeback. See what happens then. See if the old technical reset helps. Dalek like. Uh, Problem is, I'm not sure. I think if I cancel it and come back in, I think we'll close the whole. I have to set up a new YouTube live stream. Oh, it's all good for you now. Okay, perfect. So maybe it was just the Wi-Fi connection or. So yeah, looking at this, guys, I'm a little bit. Market is definitely from the higher time frame, anyways, preferential to the upside. But if we look at the weekly, sorry, daily, we've come right up into that daily resistance level here and potentially rejected it. So we need to see. We either need the daily really to break out above sort of 23,360. It might be a quiet day or so, unless we get a huge move that blows out all the structure levels, and then fantastic, we've got clear traffic to trade into. Right. Okay. Anyone else looking at anything? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm let's, let's have a look at pound yen while we're waiting, because gold. In fact, come back to gold because we've got 6 minutes for comics. I mean, you look at the daily chart and you wonder, trading that, how could you have two losing trades buying today? Just looking at that, but it's what happens. I do think there's. I might try and stay awake till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning because there's been some really, really big moves over the last few months between 1 and 2 o'clock. Problem is, if I do that, I know that our London live stream is going to be a nightmare. Who fancies? Who fancies doing an Asian live stream one night or one morning? Because there's no way I'll be able to stay awake on my own for that. Okay. Okay. Bloody hell. I didn't think I'd get so many keen participants. Okay, so I might on that in that case, whatever day we plan to do that, I might get I might go to sleep when my little one goes to sleep, and then just wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning if I can. Try and get 4 hours between 8:30 and 12:30, something like that. Lola's a night owl. Okay, Frankie. Okay, so regards to gold's H1 trade, if the stop loss wasn't brought up after, um, Let's have a look. So gold. No, you'd have been taken out because next one you've broken the lows here, and that one, no, forget that. But if you'd have left it underneath the low of this one, right, and when you got triggered, you should have hit target one on this one at least. So if you look, um, so where are we? It's like 20 pips from here to here. So you should have hit T1 or T2, at least T1. Now I'm working with another, let's say, company at the minute on some copy trading, and I so being really transparent with you, I'm trading at 0.01, so the smallest lot size you can, and they've asked if I can make, let's say, anywhere between 3 and 5 quid a day. But on 0.01, obviously you can't scale out. So to set two trades, and then with where they don't want to have a loss of, let's say, more than 10 or 12 quid on a day. So based on the way that the markets are moving at the minute, I'm having a bit of a nightmare finding trades that I can take. So in theory, like this one today, it's cost 12 quid. Um, so so like I say, I'm trying to establish the best way of operating within this. It sounds very simple, but because I copy my trades, and if I copy it, I need to double up on the 0.01s because you can't scale out, so I need to place them twice, if that makes sense. So I can't copy from my account. So literally the last 2 days, I've been more stressed about losing 6 quid and 10 quid than I have $1,000 on an account. Is driving driving me nuts. But this is what makes us better. Ah, Mr. Armand, how's the golf swing today? But this is what makes us better, right? We find like new challenges, new ways of making our trading, our systems better to accommodate drawdowns and maximize take profits. So so yeah, if you'd have just taken this one, Frankie, see, I had to move up. I couldn't even have my stops down here because of how much on my personal account I can, but based on how they want a maximum loss, my stops were up here at 78. I couldn't have it down here. So as it triggered, so this one then pinged me, then I placed it again. So it's it's tricky. I'm having to like not relearn, but trying to find what I can and can't trade. So it's not been the best of starts for them, unfortunately. But but I'll get there. Um, oh, well, at least you can work on perfection now, buddy. That was all I can say is a little bit like the trades for me this morning. The first two fantastic, and then got caught in this whipsaw here. Maybe some of it, like I say, is to do with the Fed tomorrow. I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of deep retracements and then not projecting. So we'll see. We'll see how this one unfolds through here. I think ahead of the FOMC, we're probably going to continue to see indexes just pull back. Daily support in here at 19670. Go down to the hourly. I think you might find a similar trade to the BPC that was found earlier on the DAX by Anna. I think something like that could potentially set up today. Whether it's going to be, let's say, at 19,670 or another, unfortunately, the next structural level is way down here, and that's going to be a too big a drop, in my opinion. So what, we're 215 down now. Yeah, don't see us doing 900 points today. Is gold going to hit me for 3 times today? All right, it's COMEX. So I'm going to do a reduced risk trade. 130. Let's have a look. 30-minute. So let's down 19 points. Nah, we'll wait for a close above. If it goes, it goes. Could be one hour outside candle on gold. Yeah, but we've been caught with one of those already. The previous candle. It was an outside candle. Literally for some reason we are stuck in this little zone here, and we'll know when it's going to break out. I honestly thought the second trade was after we took the first loss, and I said about taking the second one. I really thought that was going to be it. Anyone new in today? If anyone's new in here today, let us know. Uh, so I think what I'd do is if I, rather than trading the 1 hour outside, guys, let's wait, see how it closes. Um, yeah, but naked closes. Just remember, naked close. You're only nervous if it doesn't go down first. You want it to go down first. It had a pop down. Went fair way down, to be fair. Then triggered. Next one did exactly the same. It's just one of those days. Look, you just can't help. The markets are random, so all we can do is we can have a systematical approach into how we place our trades, and here we go. Watch it pop. Watch it pop. We've got 10 minutes for the 15. This is where the FOMO kicks in because you're seeing it pop and you're going, do you know what? If I'd have just placed my order above that high, would have been in it now. And then next, let's say you did it this time. It comes out and it starts heading back down. You go, oh, why did I do it? So you don't do it the next time. The next time you don't do it, guess what? It triggers and it flies off. So you have to be consistent with these kind of things. It's like you either place it or you don't, and you do it all the time. Do it for 20, 30 trades. Get yourself a set of results. And then you go, do you know what? Right, I am going to do this every time around comics. Um, but there's only one reason right now I'm very hesitant, and that's because I've just taken 2 losses back to back off this same price level. So ideally I want to wait for this candle to close above. I want it to show me something different, and if it means that I don't know if you can hear that. That's my old alert. That was my old alert from the trade that got stopped on, say, 20 pips, move stops to break even at 85.50. So 8 minutes. If we get a close like this, guys, then, you know, I think fantastic. We're good to go. It might just go without us. If it does, then today will have been one of those days. So look, I just so you can see there's no trades running. I just sat there waiting patiently. Anyone take the momentum entry? I've got a funny feeling the only trade I'm going to take, if I'm going to take one now, guys, is another long trade on gold. And it's so bloody frustrating because uh, bought at 83.93 and lost. Bought at 84.05 and lost. And it's now 86.59. Oh, look at that as well. 35 pips. It is what it is. I just don't want it to. We've got 6 minutes. If this gets anywhere, because 3400 is basically the next barrier, or the next big even handle. I'm sure there's a level just below 3400 on one of the lower time frames. There we go. 3402. So we're looking at 34. Oh, I've just realized I'm on the wrong screen. So on the hourly, it's 3401.75 and 30-minute 3407. Look at that flipping candle now. Oh, my patience has been tested today. Well, how many pips have we? Ah, well. only, only thing you can do is laugh. The good thing is now we've cleared all traffic. So 90. Or cry, yeah, exactly, Frankie. Yeah, no crying, no crying. Look, the main thing is right. We got the analysis right. We got the analysis right. The market just remember the markets are random, so the candles that they print and how they move, we're never going to get it right all the time. We just have to try and use the candle formations that we see to predict as and when buyers are really going to take control. Now, obviously, 130 is comic, so we know that there's usually going to be an influx of cash And obviously the previous direction will sort of point us to which way we expect it to go, maybe on the open. Now, just looking at this area here, it, you could see the big candles, the volume candles with the buys, the 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 corrective candles were twice. What would the M15 have offered you anything on a decision last candle that just broke the level? Don't think so, bud. No, no. Now, this was the candle that I traded this morning just before the London session, which was structure. This is the one you sold, Frankie. Broke the lows, then it broke. This candle broke the lows, and then came back above the level and started to break the highs. So I bought as an outside candle here, looking to go with trend from structure. Now the only difference, if you look at this, is the outside candle that's being formed here wasn't after a correction. In theory, it's just it was creating the breakout, which you know there's probably a bit more room for error here in the sense that the market's already moved another, well, we're up now $57 on the day. So down here, it'd probably been up, what, $20 on the day? $30 on the day. Yeah, $27 it would have been up on the day. So I think it's in line with the trend. That one's in line with the trend. Did anyone take the hourly outside candle? If you did, well done. You've made some lovely pips. Now remember, you don't know it's going to be an outside candle. The whole point of trading with the trend here. Uh, M5 for Frankie. Uh, phew. I think it's just a little bit close with this structure here. Gandalf, nice to see you going with the trend, buddy. Normally the suggestion for the contrarian trades, but I like it. Well done, buddy. Um, so options now. Um, I'm staying away from indexes. I look. The only index trade I look for is a BPC from this area. DAX. DAX I'll stay away from. Gold, BPC trades. Uh, Two bigger stops now required. So I'm thinking for anything, I would look for price to come back down in here, then watch a lower time frame for buyers to come in to then trade it back up and fill at least the wick here. But yeah, I think market's not been very kind to us today. I think anyone that is, let's say, day trading, making pips out of these moves, are probably doing something a little bit flexible with their stop losses. Yeah, because when you go bullish candle followed by a bearish candle, you predominantly want to be bringing your stops up underneath. Then if the next candle takes out the lows, you get stopped out. Then it breaks the high, so you're back interested again. Then look what happens, followed by another seller candle. Then it breaks lows, stopped out again. Don't get a trading opportunity. Now we get a trading opportunity. So if you're following price action, reading it well, that you, unless you're doing something super aggressive in there where gets one or two pips in profit and you're just moving your stops to break even, yeah, you might got away with a couple of the trades there that we took full losses on. Well, Not full because stops were down here and then we brought them up. Stops were down here and then we brought them up. Yeah, we've one. Uh, so today I am minus 1,471 today. So, oh, oh, add in commissions 1,507. So, and here you go. There you go. No, every day is a winning day, right? Now, I I always have that off because I don't like to look at P&L when trades are running. I just like to manage it based off the numbers. So yeah, we're just gonna just I've put an order there. 1 second. I just want to have a look. 60-point stop. So if it's 46 to the low of the candle, so that's not too bad. In fact, I'm just gonna delete for now. I want to see if we can come down and tap this area. If we can come down and tap this area, I'll wait for a 5-minute bullish candle, see if we can get a smaller stop. And that's my coffee done. So we've got 1 minute left of this candle. And then we're going to look for a BPC trade from 33.83. So for those of you that are new, is there anyone new on the stream? So BPC trade, very, very simple. Let me just come over here. So let's just do, okay. So come on, members. So BPC equals break out. So I want you to pull back, continuation. Okay, give me some rules. What's the first thing we should look out for? Who's going to hit me up with the first thing we should look out for? Okay, closed above resistance. This is, we'll do BPC long. Okay. What's the second thing we should look for? Second thing we should look for. Gandav, Anna, Frankie. Come on. Peter Arman. Pull back and close bearish. Okay, so let's say 2 seller candles. We want 2 seller candles down range. Okay, anyone else? What's next? Yes. Uh, so we'll put Anyone else? You're looking for Anna's notes. Love it. Come on, Anna. Gandalf, come on. This should just roll off the tongue. You should know this straight away. Okay, bullish candle close. What next? Yes, Rupee. Hello, darling. Clear candle space. Look left. Let's say min 20, 30 pips. Okay. Oh, all right. Look at you lot now. You're all trying to jump in. Weren't there at the beginning. Now you're all trying to fight. Oh, would help if I could spell. Clear candle space. So after bullish candle close, wait for next candle to wick down. Then what? Place the trade. Cool. Buy stops above bullish candle close high plus spread. That's better, Rupee. So BPC long checklist. Okay, so we're all good. Everyone happy with that? Now, that's BPC. What would we be looking for here? Are we looking for a BP? BPC? A BP. Oh, what type of trade would we look for here? Breakout long. Okay. Any concerns about a breakout long here? Any concerns about breakout long here, guys? Okay. What else do you think about here, guys? So if we're trading a breakout, where do we have the highest probability of success? So we know we've got plenty of room to the upside, but where's the highest probability of success? Hmm. Okay, so if this is our range, okay, and we're looking for this to be our ultimate profit target, and this is where we're looking to break out from. Are we going to have more success if our entry is down here or up here? So option 1 or option 2? Okay, guys, we have a unanimous decision. We all agree that the highest probability of success we're going to have is if we trade as close to the breakout zone as possible. So this is where, if we see the breakout and we go, right, okay, based on that, I'd want to be looking and say, right, the further we get away from this, the lower the probability of success. So if we look at that and go, right, so we have 230 and that's 985. So we're pretty close to like the middle of the zone. We're pretty close to the middle of the zone. So if anything, we want to be looking at a lower time frame to see if we can get an entry somewhere down here. And this is where you can use the lower time frame potentially. So had we seen another bearish, I don't know, candle here, I mean, aggressive traders could have looked to have bought the buy, break the high of this one. But realistically, now you want to be looking, say, right, how could I trade a 5-minute candle here? And it'd be close above, wick down, and done. But I think right now, if we're looking at this, the only viable other option we have is a potential flip trade. Does that make sense, guys? So what conditions do we trade a flip? So if we look at this and go, right, flip, okay, so bias equals long, maybe flip entry. Okay, so, okay, good answers so far, guys. So 1, strong trend. 2, what do we want to see? Uh, so strong trend. Okay, so we look before we have a wick down. What else do we need to see, guys? What else do we need to see, guys? Before we have a wick down, what else do we need to see? Hey, listen, if you're cheating, it doesn't matter. The fact that you've got a list, you've got bullish. Okay, there we go. Bullish candle. Bullish candle close with a wick of 20 pips. 20, let's put 20 plus pips. Okay. So now we've got a strong trend. We've broken out. There's no pullbacks. So we're not getting BPCs. We're just looking for opportunities to take the trend. So the only way we can do that, and why do we want to wick on the candle? Why do we want to wick on the candle? What's significant about a wick? What's significant about a wick, guys? Where's it? No, think about what you're saying here. So look, we're looking for the wick to the upside. Why do we need to see a wick to the upside? Why do we need to see a wick to the upside? The range to trade into, exactly. So look, when we see the wick to the upside, that shows us where the market has gone to. The wick to the downside is showing the market liquidity. So in theory, it's where the price has moved down to attract buyers to come back into the market. So we're looking for that range to get filled. So if we're looking at this, we go, right, do we have 20 plus pips? Yes. Okay, fantastic. Then 3. Okay, we need to see a wick down on the next candle. Okay, once we've seen that, it's simple. Buy, buy stop above what? Where are we putting the buy stop? Where are we putting the buy stop, guys? Above the previous close? Anywhere else? It's going to be above. No, it's above the current candle's high. So if this one just opens, pops up 1 or 2 pips, and then comes down, it's above the high of the current candle, the one that is live, not the one that's closed, the one that is live. So buy stop above the current candle high. Okay. Stop loss, you can basically take your pick. You can do a fixed stop of 20, 30, 40 pips, whatever it may be, and then just use the low of the candle once it triggers. So you're kind of guesstimating initially, but it doesn't really matter because it's not going to matter until you triggered. Okay. So, oh, I was just about to say what. So there we go. Uh, flip long. Could we still check for spread and available previous wick space? What do you mean previous wick space? Yeah, always spread. Always spread. Entry is always plus spread. Doesn't matter whether you're doing a flip, a BPC. Um, I'm not sure what you mean by previous wick space because you're looking for a bullish candle close with a wick of a 20 pips or more. So that should be the wick space that you're looking for, Frankie. I think that's what you're referring to. But if that chews into the previous wick space, that's why you're looking. That's why you need a wick of at least 20 pips because you're not going to have a spread of 20 pips. And if you are, you might as well close the charts right now. Yeah. So worst case scenario, we've seen spreads of, I don't know, 6 and 7 pips. So even then, you're still fine. But I wouldn't do it because you're aiming for 10 on TP1. So if you're aiming for 10 and you've got a spread of 6, you've got a 60% on your standard spreads. Look, that's what you want. Standard spreads. Anything from 1 to 3 pips, you're okay with. But that's why we always want 20 pip range to trade into. So that's your bias long flips. And literally right now, guys, there's there's not a lot to get into. My preference, if I'd like to see a spike down on, I'll stick for the open, right, guys? Because I've got a feeling we might get an opportunity here. If we can see this sell off, spike through 19,670, then look for a BPC here. This is what, because if we take a look at what's happened on the DAX today, the DAX has done something similar. The DAX has spiked through support, and then buyers have come back in with a vengeance. That's what I want to look for. Now, obviously, this could move really, really quick and we don't get anything. Or it may just break through and keep going. If it does, then so be it. So we've got 23 minutes for 23 minutes for White House removes National Transportation Safety Board. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's get those off. We don't need those anymore. So, this is like habit. So that I want you to get in. If it doesn't come straightforward to you, let's say marking the charts out or the checklist that you need to have for each system, then just write it on the chart. And if you've just done it like that, for example, Anna, she saved all her checklists on the chart. So if she knows right now, let's say she's looking at this and she goes, right, we've broken out, but I don't want to trade where we are now. I want to trade flip entries if we get the opportunity. She'll just, I don't know, come over to text. She'll come here, and then she'll select one of these, flip long, and then it'll pop up on the chart. So she has a checklist there, and she goes, right, okay, perfect. I know what I'm waiting for now. So this takes out all the emotions of, right, okay, FOMO, let's take the trade. Let's not take the trade. Let's jump in. No, let's be disciplined. You're still gonna have losing trades, guys. You're still gonna have losing trades. I promise you. You can have all the checklists in the world. You can have the best discipline in the world. You're gonna lose. That's the only thing I can guarantee you, right? The What I can't guarantee is how you act around it. Okay, so main thing is get yourself well prepared, get set, get your checklist there. There's a few different style trades that you're going to do. And like anyone that's a member with Trade and Train, they'll know that all systems are interlinked. So if I just move this out of the way. All right, guys, setups. What's Give me number one setup. What's the first setup you would consider trading? Okay, cool. Breakout. Okay. Second one. After a breakout, there's two potential trades after a breakout. False breakout, yep, because that would be the next trade. And yes, BPC. So they're all interlinked because look, the false breakout will occur if the next candle closes back below the range and then we get a wick up, we sell. The BPC means the breakout's happened, it's continued to move higher, and then it pulls back before we continue again. So you can see how all three are linked. So after the breakout, you're either going to have a false break or you're going to look for a BPC. Now, after that, if the trend is really strong, uh, Simon's going to do a BPS. Love it. Um, who else? Yeah, Rupee. You mentioned the flip as well. So the flip is like the final sort of like trend continuation system that we would use. Now, there is another setup. There is another setup, but it's for a different condition. Do you remember? Yeah, range trade. So, you know, you could literally just have that printed on your screen like that. So, and then it's a matter of, right, okay, when I look, you just have it at all times on one side of the screen. So, right now, in theory, this is you break out, you've had a wick down, it's broken the highs. I just said I wouldn't be that interested in taking it as we're bang in the middle of the range. But look, it's moving. It's doing what it should do. Um, maybe had I not had two losses back to back, I might have been a bit more aggressive today. But you don't need to chase the market. Remember, there's always going to be opportunities. So yeah, I think today's session has been more educational than live execution, which is what we would generally do on the live stream. You generally see a lot more, uh, not activity, but maybe one or two trades placed. Today we haven't. Have we placed anything today? I don't think so. Haha, setup template now saved. The master of the templates. Ana de Bolos. The matador of the charts. I don't know. Matadoras or toreras? Just had to Google if matador was the same for female. So there we go. We're going to call you the matadoras. Matadora. Oh, yeah, is matadoras plural? I don't know. Google gave me the wrong information. Matadora. Okay, there we go. Love it. There we go. Okay, so now this this particular like chart setup that I see now, this is where I'd love to see a BPC now. Because we've had a move, we've had another couple of candles follow through, and I would be much more inclined to see two downrange candles form and then support formed. So now we've seen this move. If it just goes straight up to the top, then it goes up to the top. But that's what I definitely look for right now. Uh, downrange. We've got 15 minutes, 14 minutes for uh, NYSE Open. I'm just gonna put an alert in here. Let's get rid of all these now. Wonder if can I get rid of more? There we go. Okay. There we go. Right. So one thing I say is I know our objective is to trade, but look at, can you get your absolute jokes? So one thing I also have noticed, how many of you are looking at when your wins are, how many of you set up the times of your trades so you know at what time sessions you're placing your trades, when your wins are, when your losses are? Who knows? So I have an extremely high success rate between 7 and 9 a.m. And again, I have another high success rate. Yeah, record time it, because I reckon if I was to look back, if I ditched all my trades between sort of 9:30 and 12, I reckon I should be retired. But if I see the setup, I take it. So I think I'm going to block myself from taking trades between 10 and 12. Yeah, 7 and 9 a.m. best time for Nigel. Nice. So yeah, we're gonna wait for opportunities now. I think BPC could be very, very good for um, gold. But we need, if you think about it, guys, right? So if you were to look at your BPC checklist based on what I said, if we're looking at the 30-minute chart now, how long would we have to wait for as a bare minimum? That's because you've started the gin, Nigel. Simon's on the ball today. Why is that, Simon? One second. Sorry, guys. Okay, just had to reply to someone there. Okay, yeah, because we, yeah, if we're waiting for a BPC, we have to wait for two downrange candles. So two downrange candles, if we're looking at the 30-minute chart, is going to take 1 hour. So you know that the only trades that you can take right now, sorry guys, one second. Let me just mute myself while I cough. There we go. Okay, we're back. So you know, if we were to look at the setups right now, what setup could you trade on gold? Potential. What setup could you trade? Could you trade a breakout? Could you trade a false break, a BPC, a flip, or a range trade? One, two, three, four, or five. Which one of those setups would you be able to trade right now? Thanks, Frankie. Right now, right now, what would be the first thing that could potentially set up? Ah, my days, what's going on? You were all doing so well. Yeah. So I peeked. I saw it. I thought, yeah, I think that was a mistype. Okay, so look, the breakout's happened. A BPC can't happen now. Why? Because we have to wait for two more candles. A false break could potentially happen. We need a big shift, but then it's like, do I like what I'm seeing here? Could we see a range trade? No, because we're not in a range, we're in an uptrend. So that leaves one. Number four, the flip. Yeah? So just think where you are in context to the actual chart. And if you have this here, you'll know which one you can and can't trade. Right, the breakout has happened. That was here, so it's done, right? It's happened, and if you're in it, you're in it as it moved through the highs. So now that's happened, we can't do anything with that. The next potential trade, the soonest trade that could potentially happen, if this one closes bullish, will be the flip. If it closes bearish, then the one after that is going to be a BPC unless it closed bearish below the level. Then you've got to ask yourself, do we have clear space to trade into? No, so I wouldn't trade a false break here. So it wouldn't be a false break. So make sure you have the setups set up on your chart then, if that makes things a little bit more simpler for you so that you can go, hold on a second, this is where we are in the chart. This is what I expect to happen. Now I'll look at X, Y, and Z to happen. Yeah. So it's going to be a you this by doing this kind of thing, you're making it an if done scenario. You're gonna get rid of all the emotions and the FOMO and whatever. You're gonna go, right, okay, that's happened, so I can't do this one, this one, this one. Okay, so if it's that one, right, if it's a flip, right, let's come back over to my templates. Let's go, right, where's the flip long? Okay, so that's what I need to see happen. Okay, so I need strong trend. Yep. I need a bullish candle close with a wick of 20 pips. Okay, I've got a bullish candle. It's not closing for another 5 minutes. So I need to see if it closes in 5 minutes, do I have 20 pips? If we do, and then we get a wick down, well, then fantastic. I can potentially be a buyer. Does that make sense on how you can like streamline it? A range trade, got to find a range first. So uh, uh, okay. Right. Well, uh, through here. Let me just zoom. Yeah, this is where we were trading. This is where we traded. Right, this one. So they're exactly the same, Lola. You're just looking for a range to be formed. So you're looking for support and resistance, and you're looking to trade from the bottom of the range to, let's say, this one is a micro range. So you're looking for it to come back up into this area here. Yes, it might get above here and come back to the top, but we're not going to try and do that. You just want it to come back to top of the structure. So you see the market come down. You can see the momentum fading. You see buyers came in. We took this one because we actually, I think it was this one here. We traded it. We got taken in. We got stopped out, and then we took it again on the break of the high of this candle here. Yeah, because it was an outside candle followed by an outside candle. So we got stopped once, and then we took this one and made a nice chunk of change. Okay, so does that make sense, Lola? So range trade, the systems are the same. You're just looking for a range as opposed to a trend. And clean space to the left-hand side. Always clean space. Right, let's get back to today's task at hand. Okay. Yeah, so range just means, remember, all the systems that we put together and we trade, the entry technique is the same across the board. The only entry technique that's different is a flip. Everything else will always be like a momentum entry above the previous candle's high or below the previous candle's low. A flip is the only one that you're trading the current candle's high and low. The current, meaning it's still live. Okay, so let's just drop to the NASDQ while we're waiting for the open. So we're looking for a spike lower. There we go. Right. Okay. Let's see. What can we do? Nothing, but the more I look at this as well, the more annoying it is because that all my extended targets were at 97. So it would have hit all extended targets. Today could have been a day that printed money, but as it turns out, it just shows, you can look at something in hindsight as a wonderful thing, right? You could look at this and you go, oh, you know what? I'm gonna buy above the high of here, stop below the low. And you look like it just sails higher. And same for looking at this. But when you're managing things on a day trading perspective, sometimes you lose the concept of how big some of these stops are. If you're looking at that, you're talking 100, 110 points. The volatility in today's market has really opened up the stop, so you have to adjust your risk sizing in order to accommodate it. And this is where, like I said earlier, I'm I'm trying to find a solution for the for this copy service that I've just started working for, to trade at zero point zero 0.01, because obviously you can't scale out, so I'm having to trade multiple positions. Um, and this is the this is the challenge I face at the minute. But we all love a challenge. Let's go back to NASDAQ. Okay, so NAS is H1. So I'm just cross-referencing charts. They look quite similar. I'm just thinking that we'll see how this. Okay, let's see if we get a 30-minute close above here. So again, okay, guys, think what would you look for here? This chart. So what's happening? Which direction is the trend? Which direction is the trend? The trend's down. Anyone, any difference? 30. So I'm just looking at gold on the 30 on a different chart. When you see these deep wicks down, break of the high looks pretty guaranteed for 10, 15 pips easy, but I want to see a BPC setup. So come on, guys, tell me what what we seeing trend wise. Anyone give me an idea what you're seeing on terms of trend? Everyone's keyboards are broken. The last week, the trend is up. Okay, so how are we going to identify trend? Yes, Peter Almond. I like the sounds of that. How are we going to identify trend, guys? Come on. we don't say the last week. So look, what do we look at? We look at highs, we look at lows. We know there's one down here. We know there's one here. And then we break. So here we've had what? It's gone low, high, lower low, lower high, higher low, higher high. So as soon as we change structure here, we are in a... Okay, so as we are now looking at the market in an uptrend, we are in what here? So if the market is in an uptrend on the daily, what is this now? What are we seeing on the daily? If it was in an uptrend and we're now seeing two down range, well, an inside candle followed by, again, they're both going to be inside, but unless we break this low. What are these two referred as? This is an uptrend. We are now in a pullback or correction. Yes, correction. So we've got the pullback. So on this basis, we want to find what now? Now we're seeing the correction. We're wanting who to step into the market. Oh, you guys, that's it. We want to see buyers come into the market. So this is why we now mark off structural places to look for buyers to come into the market. And then we can start looking for, you could call it a range trade, potentially, depending how the market's forming in that correction. It could be a BPC trade, but that's what we're looking for, okay? So drop to the 4 hour. Where do we see structure? Here. Do we test it? Yes. Right, let's drop to the 1 hour. Oh, okay, what's happening now? We come to the 1 hour, we see all potential buyers coming into the market. We've got to wait 21 minutes. Let's drop to the 30. Oh, here we go. Now, if this 30-minute candle closes like this, I don't think it will. I think it probably jumps somewhere up here. Ah, okay, as you can see. But what we're getting now is we're getting a setup. Does that make sense? Yeah. So just because the market's moving lower on a higher time frame doesn't mean that we need to think, right, okay, we've got to keep trading it. Because realistically, what we've done is we've said, right, the market is correcting. Now we've marked off the daily structure points. Now we're going to wait for buyers to come into the market. When buyers come into the market, we've got our BPC set up. It's going to be slightly different because you're probably looking at this as a structure. Here we can see the market's come down, form support, then it's sold off again. So we've got like a minor resistance here on a lower time frame. If this holds, boom, we've got a setup. If 33 pips, it's fine. Gold's pulling back as well. So if we get another seller candle on gold, there could be a BPC setting up for longs on gold as well. But again, this is why we wait for the candles to close. So you go, right, okay. So, so what setups are we looking for? Okay, right, BPCs, lovely. Okay, fine, right. What do I need to do? Oh, we want to look for, okay, so now, in theory, this is what we're looking for. So we know the market's above resistance. What we want to see is two seller candles. Yeah, we've got loads of them. We've got an uptrend, bullish candle close. So this one's going to be a break of structure on a lower time frame. Clear candle space. Do we have 20 pips? Well, we know above this high there's 33 pips. After bullish candle close, boom, wait for a wick down. Okay, so this is all you're going to do, guys. Drop in exactly what you want to see, how you want to see it, and when you're going to see it. Have we got any new people on the live stream? Just out of curiosity, if you are, just let me know where you're logging in from, what sort of stuff you trade. Um, we're looking for potential longs on NASDQ. in our members group, unfortunately today, yeah, we've had a couple of losses. Um, believe it or not, buying gold. Uh, this I'm gonna wait, see if we can get a deeper pullback. 18 minutes. So how have you found today's session, guys? A little bit different because there's not been a lot to trade. A little bit different. Focus more on the education side of it. Uh, daily time frame, it's sideways. uh, which which one, Andrew? Oh, let's have a. Yeah, I just flipped to it, Anna. Um, I think looking at that, if we place a buy stop above the highs, if you look at the hourly's formed an outside candle, and it means that it would trigger breaking the higher in the 15. So I actually quite like that. Um, so 10, what's the high? 775, so we'll call it 778. So let's just uh no 68 trade 0.01. So and just what's so I'm seven. What's the high? Seven. Call it 76. So 78. Oh, wrong one. Trade 78. So 98. So if it breaks the lows, it doesn't matter. 19,710. And we'll look for TPs So entry, I've basically done this, guys. So I was just talking to myself while I'm doing it. I'll show you. So this is effectively what we're doing. Uh, let's- Hey Mike, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the live stream. Um, Today's been a pretty quiet session. It's been predominantly, I mean, 20,055. It ain't moving that far. I'll just put in at 19,865 as extended targets. I'm going to show you on where I've placed orders. Uh, 19,700. And then we're going at 19,875. Now, so let me change screen so you can see where the orders are. Um, okay, so obviously, Mike, I wouldn't be placing any trades today if I was you, especially if you complete novice. Today would be quite a good session for you to watch back actually, because this is the first trade we've placed. But what we've done is we've in here we've got quite a few members who come to the YouTube session that I do on obviously US Open. But the members we run live streams during the London Open so from 7 a.m. and then we do 8 p.m. sessions as well for the New York close. So today's session would be a really good one for you to watch back because we've covered a lot of education in the different type of setups that we do and how they're all interlinked. Now, this one, the reason we're looking for longs here is if we go to the daily chart, uh, if we go to the daily chart, essentially what we're looking at is how the market trend is evolving. So if we mark off, if you think of charts, because we're just price action traders here, okay? So what we mean is we just look at candles and the story that they tell us. So on that basis, you want to look at what we call market structure, so highs and lows, like the peaks and troughs, as if you were looking at a mountain, as they will kind of tell us the trend direction. So as we see, if you were to just mark out all the highs like this, where you see the call it mountain peaks. What you want, and then you do the same with the lows. And then imagine you were going back to being a kid and you do dot to dot. You draw the like this. So there's your high. Go down to your low, up to your next high, down to your next low, up to the high, down to the low, up to the high, down to the low, up to the high. What do we notice? We notice that this high here is, if you were to go down, then this one is a lower high. Then this would be a lower high. So it's me trying to write. And so, oh, bollocks. Thanks, Anna. Let's go. There we go. We'll come back to this one. All right, I'll do it again. Um, in fact, let me just try something. Let me know if I freeze the screen and start drawing with this. Tell me if you can start seeing this. No, it's just frozen, right? Yeah, no, it's all right. It's not worked. It's just a better drawing tool, but it didn't work. So what I was saying, could you see me drawing the red lines? You saw the red lines? Ah, I couldn't see it on what I'm watching. Okay, superb. All right, we'll go back to that because I hate the trading view drawing. Okay, so let's do it again. So Mike, so as I was trying to say to you, um, what's that alert? Oh yeah, it's NASDAQ touching the structure level. Is you want to mark off the highs. So if you think about mountain peaks, you want to look at the highs and then just mark them off, and then do the same with the lows, the troughs. And this is how you're effectively going to identify where market trends are. So you just and then do dot to dot. You connect the lows and the highs like this. And effectively, a trend is just higher highs and higher lows. So a trend would look like this, and a downtrend would look like this. And at what point does the trend change? Well, it changes here because you've gone from high, these are producing higher highs, to now you've gone lower high, lower low, lower high. So that's how we identify trend. Okay, so very, very simple. So that's what the candles will tell us. Now, just um, when you're then looking at the market, it's like, right, now because we know the trend is up because we've created new highs and higher lows, this bit is what we call a correction. It's like where the market is, we call it breathing in. Okay, it's taking a breath before it might move higher. So what we're looking for is what we call a BPC trade. This is just to give you an insight into what we want to look for would be something along that kind of setup. So now it's like, right, where do we see the structure? So what we do is we drop down the time frames. So we're on a daily chart there. So now we're looking at all the highs and lows that we can identify. So this is a structure level. How do we know that? Because it sold off, then buyers came in aggressively. So we said during the session, we want to see if the market can test this level, and then we'd look to try and buy as buyers come back in at somewhere around here. So then I drop down to the 1 hour, and you can see the structure remains the same. So now we've tested that old support area. We're just waiting for buyers to come back in. And where we put our buy above here, we didn't get caught into anything because the market had already started to pull back. I'm still happy to. I, I'm going to kill my order now because there's no point having that in this instance. It was fine before, but now we need to wait for buyers to come back in. So look, I just show you. I'm just going to get rid of that. Delete. Okay, so now we have to wait for buyers to come back in. Simple. Let me just get rid of these. I've got them on multiple accounts. There. Now, for those of you that want to trade breakouts, there's potential if we get the hourly candle close below, next candle wicks up. If we stay in this area, then there's potential breakout on the cards. So how would we look at that? Well, I didn't save it, but look, in theory, yeah. So let's just put it in. So guys, if we were looking for a breakout short, give me the rules. One, what do we want to see? So if you, okay, so close below support. Two, what do we want to see next? Okay, what do you want to see next? Clear space to trade into. I just put clear space and then in brackets, look left. So Mike, this is where we refer to, or anyone else that's new that hasn't spoken out, we're looking for big bodied candles. Why? So imagine big bodied candles. This is like a motorway with no traffic on in the middle of the night. If you look at this, this is congestion. This is shit. This is horrible to try and trade into, right? Why? Because let's say we wanted to sell into it, you're trading into this wick, you're trading into that support, then this wick. Here, if we go below here, if price breaks this area, we've got nothing to worry about until we get here. So we've got loads of space. And the reason I say there is because you see them wick up and then a wick down. That's where price has created a high and a low on a smaller time frame. And the importance of waiting for a candle to close below is the fact that price, if you just traded it below here, yeah, okay, it might have worked sometimes, but right now, what we're seeing, price is rejecting this area. So two, clear space, look left. So what we're looking for, number three, clear space, Okay, so once it's closed below support, clear space. Okay, waiting for next candle to wick up. Correct. Okay, what do you want to see next? What do we do next? Okay, cool. Place sell stop under the low of breakout candle. Yep, plus spread. Lovely. Okay, so that's it. Then your TPs and your stops, etc. You know where they are. You know what to do. So 5. So TPs. Some will do 20. Some will do 40. Some will do 15. Stop loss above the candle high, and then adjust. Okay, so I'll leave TPs off because you all have your own like methodology on what you want. So that'll be your so go breakout. Sure. Okay, so there you go. Nice, simple, systematic way of looking for a breakout short. So that should stop you getting triggered into things. Although you've seen today we got ah damn it, gone back there. Yes. So here we go. Uh, so BPC breakout short. So that's that's the checklist that you just done, guys. You've all done it. So that's what you're looking for if we're gonna get a breakout. But we've got 2 minutes to wait for a candle to close below. If not, guess what we're waiting for? We're waiting for the continuation of the day uptrend. We just have to wait for buyers to come into the marketplace. I'm gonna have to knock off at 3. Oh, damn it. I know what I've not done. Meant to ring the doctor. Okay. Okay. So guys, on that note, gonna give it 1 minute and then I have to go. Members, I'll see you at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Um, for anyone looking to join, any new members, if you're looking for an instant funded account, guys, we do have uh, a, a collaboration at the minute with Instant FX Capital. Open an account and you can get a 3 months membership with Trade and Train. Okay, so open an account with Instant FX Capital. I'm just going to put the link in the chat now. And then if that's something that you're looking at doing, guys, so that's an instant funded, oh dear me, instant funded account. Okay, we're seeing, okay, so we've broken below. What do we need to see? So, so waiting for the wick up, guys. So here comes the wick up. Oh, Yeah, on the live candle, Anna. This is if the breakout's gonna trigger. Come in. I'm just. I'll be done in 2 minutes. Um, so yeah, remember this is just for the breakout. But if the next 30-minute candle closes above, then we can. Right. Okay, so sell stop is going in place for me. Let me just change screens. I'll show you, and then I'm gonna go. I'm heading off. So sell stop is going in. Stop loss we're gonna put above 19726. What's that price? 19,510. Okay, and then I'll put partial TP in at 20 points. There we go. So partial TP is in at 20 points. Okay. All right, guys. On that note, you can see what I've done. So stops it. I'll put another partial TP in actually. I'll do 50 points. There we go. Okay, so I've got 20 and 50 points, partial TPs. Have a great day, guys. I'll catch you, members. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Anyone else that's not a member and you're looking to see some more info from Trade and Train, I'll be doing another live stream tomorrow. I'll probably do 12:30 tomorrow because I've got to leave by about 2:50. It'll be in the chat. So if you follow and subscribe to the channel, you'll get a notification when I go live. It'll either be maybe 12:45, 1 o'clock, but I have to leave a little bit earlier tomorrow. Probably need to cut off by about 2:15. All right, guys, take care. Have a great day. Manage this one wisely. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye, bye, bye.